This week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast is sponsored by Pure Creative Apparel. From logo design to specialty clothing to branded merchandise, the team at Pure Creative Apparel can take your ideas and bring them to life. You can find out more at purecreativeapparel.com, and we thank Pure Creative Apparel for sponsoring this week's show. Welcome to the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We feature destination races from across the country, and after the race, we take you on a tour of the best local food and beverage to celebrate. So whether you are an elite runner or a back of the packer like us, you'll know the best places to accomplish, explore, and indulge on your next runcation. Hey, welcome to episode number 69 of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. I'm your host, Aimee.
And I'm your co-host, Dana. Welcome.
Woohoo! And it's a little early, but happy 4th of July to everyone celebrating this week.
Yes, well, you wouldn't know that it's early. We have lots of do-it-yourself technicians.
Everywhere in the neighborhood.
Everywhere in the neighborhood getting ready for the big night.
You know how we can tell?
The dog's under the bed.
That's right. That's right. Well, the boy.
The girl doesn't care.
Yeah, our girl doesn't care. I don't know if you have dogs that are just, so terrified of all of the fireworks. And I feel so badly for him. There's nothing we can do.
That big scary dog is just a big baby when it comes to fireworks and thunderstorms.
And it's so strange. The girl is not fazed by it at all.
No.
But the boy is scared to death. And I hate it.
So hopefully you folks out there are able to keep your fur babies nice and calm this week and probably into the weekend. I'm guessing that fireworks, if you've got the amateurs in your area shooting them off, will probably go through the weekend.
But hopefully you're having good celebrations, maybe running 5Ks in honor of the holiday.
Yeah, we got our local one coming on 4th of July.
Yeah, we have a few here in the Cape, and we have one over in Estero. And they're just a lot of fun.
So the question I have for you is, are you going to run one?
Well, I was emailing with my coach the other day.
Would that be Olympian and America's coach, Jeff Galloway?
Yes.
Not to name drop or anything.
Oh, he's he's like such a father figure. He's so nice and just so encouraging.
He really is.
Yeah, I cannot sing his praises enough. But I was emailing with him, and he's like, you might want to do some hill work before you get to Anchorage. And I said, well, in Florida, it's flat. You mean like these little bridges, these teeny tiny little bridges over water? And he says, no, do you have a bridge nearby?
Like a big bridge.
Like a big bridge. And I said, well, not one that I can safely traverse.
No, during the day, like in regular traffic situations, the bridges we have going into and out of Cape Coral, not great for running.
No, but on this holiday, on this fine holiday where we celebrate Independence Day.
Yes.
Yes. It's not just a movie.
We and our fellow ungrateful colonials.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I'm one of them. No, we have several 5Ks going on throughout, and I can safely practice hill work as a part of our local 5K.
So you are going to go run like the Firecracker 5K or the Freedom Run over the Cape Coral Bridge?
The Freedom Run, that's the Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Excellent.
So that's the one where I can practice bridge work.
All right. Well, I will practice my camera work from the sidelines on that one, I think. Yeah. Give you guys a little bit of an update.
Oh,
yeah.
Bad news.
I mentioned last week on the episode that I was having some knee issues, and it turns out the knee issues were a little worse than I thought. So in the coming days, I will be going in for some arthroscopic work and hopefully rehabbing that ahead of our trip to Alaska. So I will be doing a little more of the cheer squad / photography and videography from the sidelines. And, I'll get the miles in slowly
and safely,
and safely,
and according to what the doctor recommends in recovery.
Well, the most recent word from my doctor today was, yeah, go do whatever you want to do. You can't hurt any more than it already is.
Well, until you get it fixed.
Right. So I have free reign to just go nuts, ride it, ride this thing till the wheels fall off, so to speak.
Well, for a limited time only.
Exactly.
So
I probably won't jump into hill work with you on that bridge.
Oh, and I fully support you healing and doing what you need to do.
So.
However, 2/3 of this podcast is not running.
Well, I'm going to give where I can.
You're going to give to the eating, the drinking.
I'm a giver.
The exploring and indulging. Yes, we can hand those duties to you. Actually, we can do them together.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Oh, yes.
So I will still be helping. I'll still be covering the other portions, but Aimee is going to be solely responsible for the runs for the next probably 4 to 6 weeks.
No pressure.
No pressure at all.
No pressure.
So I will be doing what I've been training for all my life, which is sitting on my butt.
No, you will not. There's physical therapy to be done, sir.
Stop. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life right now.
I'm trying to be supportive.
You are.
So.
You are.
Yeah.
But so it was
quo.
actually kind of a nice week this week. Last episode we asked you guys to give us your mantras and the things that you use, your mental strategies for getting through adversity.
Tough runs, overcoming adversity. Very apropos.
It was. And, I'll be honest, you're getting the word that, your injury is worse than you think it is. And, rest, ice compression, and elevation is not going to be enough. Right. That kind of takes the wind out of your sails a little bit. And,
yes.
and fortunately it's a minor procedure and all of that I'm looking forward to. But nonetheless, having seeing other people going through that stuff, and I've seen you go through it, but it's different when you're a caregiver. It's different when you're on the business end of that, surgery, and then it's different from my perspective. And now the tables are turned. Mm-hmm. But seeing what other people were talking about, what they do to get themselves through,
right,
really kind of helped.
And it does it is different as the caregiver because you feel. You want to help. You want to keep everybody. I want to keep you motivated.
No, sure.
And encouraged to recover and do well and do what I can. And sometimes I feel that I just can't find the right words. So it's great that we have this community of support.
And we got a great phone call.
Yeah.
From Wendy. And I wanted to share that with you guys and listen to what she had to say. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So here's Wendy.
Hey, it's Wendy from Buffalo, New York. Here are some of my running mantras. You're strong. You go, girl. I like to tell myself those several times during a run, especially if it's hot out. I usually will take an extra walk break if I need to, carry water, put a towel around my neck, and just keep repeating those mantras to myself. I've also been known to think of my favorite coffee shop when I get done with a race, how I can go there and just relax. Whether I really go there or not, that depends. I also been thinking a lot about everyone in the South. My son lives in Houston, Texas, and I know they've been having oppressive heat. And I keep thinking it could be so much worse than what I'm dealing with. So those are some things that I use. Thanks for the weekly podcast. You guys are great. Love listening. Have a great week.
Oh, Wendy, I really want to see pictures of your dog.
Yeah, the dog seemed to have something to say on this topic, and I would like to see a photo as well.
Yes, or maybe it's multiple dogs. I don't know, but I mean, it sounded adorable.
Sounded like our house.
And she made so many good points.
First of all, if it gets hot enough out there, I'll say you go, girl, on the run. I mean,
to me?
To me. I mean, if it's when the heat index is in the triple digits, I'll start saying it to the dog.
You just don't even know.
Yeah.
Don't even know what day it is.
No, but having something that's catchy, that is meaningful, that's repeatable.
That's meaningful, that's repeatable, or that's humorous to get you kind of out of that negative headspace. Like if I was on a really tough run over here in the neighborhood, how there's the stop sign that says stop, and then somebody has put hammer time. Stop. Hammer time.
Now, I'm gonna throw you a curveball.
All right.
Because the worst stretch of a run I've ever seen you run, and this is including runs where you've had serious, injuries or issues with your knee.
Yes.
We have a stretch of a nature trail here that we run that goes by a salt marsh.
Is that really the worst?
It is the worst because it's the only stretch that I know it gets so hot and steamy there that you cry almost like a switch has been flipped.
Well, it depends on how long I've been out there.
You hit the wall of steam and the horseflies that's right there.
Ooh, the horseflies are terrible.
And you just start crying for about a quarter mile.
Oh.
And you're angry, ugly crying while you're running.
Yes.
And then you stop.
Yeah.
Like a switch is turned off.
Well,
so what are you saying to yourself during that?
Oh, well, Wendy makes a valid point with you go girl, but I might be saying something like, you can do it. Usually I'm already well into the mileage when that happens.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's usually at least into like mile 8.
Don't turn back now. You're halfway done. I'm so proud of you. This is me self-talking to me.
Right.
It's think about how all this training is going to benefit you when you get to that race, when you get to that starting line, when you cross that finish line. Think about all of that. And also, yay, Wendy, she must follow us on all the social media because coffee.
I was going to say thinking of her favorite coffee spot. So she's already setting herself up to accomplish, explore,
and
indulge.
Indulge, yes, in coffee.
In coffee, there's nothing wrong with that. And we actually do the same thing. We have that nature trail that we're talking about. We park in a Starbucks parking lot.
We do.
And then if we have to, that's our one place we can go for potty stop, unless we're going to go and fight alligators.
Which I'm not. I'm anti-alligator fighting.
I am too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pro-alligator. I'm anti-alligator
fighting.
Wild encounter with them.
Yeah, no encounters.
But we'll do the same thing. Like, I can't wait to get back to Starbucks, or I can't wait to get just potty stop and some air conditioning for 2 minutes. Whatever.
You have talked about food and beverage that we will explore and indulge once we hit that 10 mile or 12 mile or whatever it is that we're doing. Like we had this last weekend that we can talk about a little later in the podcast. That was quite delicious. But if I can get a good mental image of, oh my God, it's going to be that big, glorious burger or the humongous beer.
Sure.
Yeah. That can also keep you going. So, yeah, to her point, I mean, she was talking about coffee.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Love coffee, but I also imagine, I have earned that burger. I have earned that pizza. I have earned those chicken wings. And I know that I probably overly indulge in those thoughts. And not always do I indulge in the food or overly indulge in the food.
No. I mean, because we do 2 days a week of speed work, 1 day a week of distance running, and we very rarely do our day 7 or our night to go out and do the explore and indulge part of the podcast on a speed work day.
No.
So it's usually following a long run.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Now Wendy's spot on. Dangle the carrot in front of yourself, even if you're not going to give it to yourself. But Wendy, go ahead and give yourself the coffee. You've earned it.
Yes. I think the coffee on all of the types of runs, short runs, long runs, bridge work, speed work, whatever.
Well, coffee's kind of the baseline for us before we even go out the door for a run.
You must have it.
So now we got Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
Yes.
Do you want me to go through the Facebook stuff real quick? And
yeah,
then
that'd
you
be
do
great.
Instagram?
Yeah, that'd be great.
And Twitter?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I can do Facebook. Or no, you do Facebook and I'll do Instagram and Twitter. I got you.
Well, we got some fantastic feedback from some of the running groups that we're a part of. We posted the link asking people for their mental strategies in Bouncy Hunter's Grateful Goals.
Oh, yay.
Katie Scales was kind enough to say that she struggles with this as well, keeping positive and pushing through. She mainly tells herself At least you're trying. It's better than sitting on the couch. Can't agree with that more. Let's see. Holly Taggart said she doesn't have any. She just kind of tells herself to see how far she can get, and then I'm just in the last mile. So, yeah,
Great.
Just convince yourself to see how far you can go. Yeah. Why not?
Like a challenge.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever works for you. But that's a great, for some, that mental challenge is going to be what does it. Mm-hmm. In the Facebook group Fat Girl Running, we got a bunch of feedback on this, and it was fantastic. Dottie Hines, I complain and bitch like nobody's business until I get it out of my system. I am right there with you, Dottie.
Ooh. So she just gets it all out, and then she can turn it around and be positive.
My question to you, Dottie, is do you do it verbally out while you're running? Do people look at you funny when you're running down the road thinking, what is this person who is this person talking to?
What?
If so, you and I have a lot in common. Let's see. Lana Jantz says, upright and smiling.
Nice.
Let's see. Chloe Bissett says, mine's a little bit sad. When things get tough during a run, I just continuously repeat in my head, slow run, better than no run. Slow run, better than no run. You know what? You're absolutely right.
And I don't necessarily think that that's sad.
No. There's nothing sad about a slow run. If it wasn't for slow running, there'd be no running here.
Right? Because we wear the shirts that say...
I'm not slow, but I am slow.
But it's a joke.
It is a joke because it says on the back we're trying to get the most out of our race entry fee.
Exactly. So I don't think that's sad. I think that's very apropos.
Stephanie Haas says left, right, left, right, left, right, and I'm right there with you. And
yes.
And I've even been known to, and I know you do too. You count steps during intervals especially during speed work.
A majority of the time.
Let's see. Run the mile you're in. That's Angela Hawbakers.
Oh.
She says it's also a great book, and Prove Yourself Wrong.
Oh, prove yourself wrong.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
That's really good. Oh, let's see. Debbie Sheary, I've got this. Janet Thomas Doty, keep moving. Let's see. Beverly Rosmus Baker says, I remember those in my life that aren't as fortunate as me to be able to run. It's enough to get me out of the door regardless of the weather. Yeah. Right there with you. And as for injury, I just remind myself it's temporary and that recovery and healing is just as important as any training schedule. And that is so true.
You got to remind yourself of that.
I'm having to remind myself that. Yes. Yeah. And someone here is going to be reminding me of that constantly.
All the time.
Let's see. Emma Summer Wilson, the tortoise wins the race.
Yes.
Yes. I love that one. Sierra Trudell, I can do this. I will do this over and over. I think I might have heard you saying this at the Star Wars half at Disney World at some point there, Sierra, or might have been something similar echoing in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We've been there on that race. Deirdre Gage Rollins, I use the 40% mental mantra to get past walls.
40% mental mantra.
Yeah.
Say that fast 5 times.
I know, right?
Yeah.
1 step at a time, 1 mile at a time from Lori Duncan. I like that. So you guys have some good ones here.
Yeah.
Successful people often do, which unsuccessful people do occasionally. I like that one. I should put that on my wall. What goes up must come down. Jen Cassiano Lincoln. Mind over matter from Nicole Montez. It's a weird one, but booty bounce over and over. Reminds me that I'm moving my ass, literally, and that's from Kelly Mural Loader.
See, some of them are funny, and you have to laugh sometimes to get yourself out of that negative space sometimes.
Well, I don't know why anybody would think you'd be in a negative space when you're running in summer temperatures.
Oh, feels like 109.
Penny Smoot says, I can and I will. I'm doing it because I can, and because I can, I'm doing it. Sol Sec. Carrie Malik, but did you die? Thank you. Thank you for quoting one of my favorite movies, The Hangover. Let's see. Cindy Carey, you've been through worse. Breathe in, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is a finish, and you've got this. You've got this comes in a lot. We see that one a lot.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, this one here. Megan Engel Rosen says, I saw this recently, maybe in this group, and love it. You win or you learn.
You win or you learn.
I think that's true.
That is true. And winning.
Your personal victory.
Personal victory.
Doesn't have to be crossing the finish line first.
Yeah, not necessarily winning. You're winning, you're running your own race. It's your own training run. It's your own goal. I like that a lot.
And I like, last but not least from this group here, Mary Cadigan, run to the edge of your hat. You ran Boston in 46 degrees, driving rain and nonstop headwind. Slow AF, but you did it. Run your effing plan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Do the work.
You got to do the work. Love it.
Yeah.
So those are some of the stuff that we got from you guys on Facebook. Yes. And I cannot thank you all enough for chiming in on the Facebook post.
It was great.
And for the group admins for letting the post stay up.
Yes.
Weren't trying to solicit anything. Weren't asking for anything.
Nope.
Just wanted to share some stuff with our fellow runners.
Hey, there was somebody on Facebook that made a reference to Rogue One. Had some kind of running mantra that was an homage to Rogue One, and I just thought the Star Wars reference was all the better.
And I think you said something like, you posted the gift that said, I rebel.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm one with the course is one with me. Yes,
I'm one with the course is with me.
Love that. I loved that because you know how we're Star Wars nerds.
Just a little.
Yeah. So we got our first feedback from Twitter.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We got our first feedback from
Twitter represent.
Yes. So it is the handle, and I apologize in advance if I butcher any names, but the handle is Coffee Courtesan.
Ooh.
Or courtesan or
tomato.
Is it? Well, Christers C is the name.
Okay.
Right? So she says she has a few. Run all the miles, eat all the sushi, or run like Captain America in parentheses. This journey makes me stronger, or it could always be worse.
I'm a fan of it can always be worse.
Yeah.
And run like Cap, although I just want to say on your left.
On your left? Yes, I was thinking of that. As soon as I read all of hers, I was like, on your left. Yeah. So that was some feedback we got from Twitter. And then we had a bunch from Instagram. So it's your turn, Lee. And I think Lee is her name. She says, during my last half marathon in Cleveland, my mantra was, I wasn't supposed to be here. And I got that from @Charlie. He says it all the time because of his story overcoming a brain tumor. I said it because I grew up in Cleveland very poor. I went on to college first in my family in 3 generations to graduate with a BSBA. And running was not part of my lifestyle back then. It was all about survival. So in theory, I felt I wasn't supposed to be there, and yet I was. It was a priceless feeling. I didn't get a PR, but every mile got all I had.
Very nice.
Yeah. I thought that, I think it's not only about mantras. I think it's about the stories you tell yourself over the miles.
Yeah. And again, whatever gets you into the mindset you need to be in.
Yeah. And now the handle is Reduction Radar, and there's no name, and it's Yellow Sticker Gal, who is a blogger, actually. And her, it is looking good, feeling good, you should be in Hollywood.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Catchy. Again, catchy and repeatable. There's a reason that the military does the cadences when they're on their runs.
Yeah.
Repeatable and catchy gets you talking, which means you're breathing, which means you're getting oxygen.
And almost like a cadence.
And you're taking your mind off of what you're doing.
Yeah. And then Sherry Marcotte runs in a skirt, says 1 foot in front of the other, just 40 seconds. You can do anything for 40 seconds. So a fellow Galloway runner, run, walk, run.
And she's absolutely right.
So we had some really great feedback on Instagram and on Twitter.
Well, we can't thank you guys enough for chiming in and sharing some of your wisdom and your tips and tricks that help people. I mean, that's really what this is all about, is helping each other. And, we want to help you get the most out of your race, get the most out of your race entry fee.
Get the most out of your training.
And then get the most out of your trip to the town you're visiting.
Yes.
So that's the running for us. And that means that when the running is done, and this week was a training week for us, and we did get some training, or you got some training. I got some medical attention.
I'm fighting the humidity and heat to try and get faster. And try and do that speed work. It wasn't a long run. It was speed work.
Just heavy speed work.
Work, and I'm just fighting it. I feel like I'm not getting any faster. So this also really helped me stay positive, to say, every little bit, even though I might have been a little bit slower than I would have liked, every little bit is going to pay off in that goal.
Absolutely.
And towards that training for future races this year.
So once the training was done, it was time to grab a bite to eat.
Yes.
We went to a local place here in Cape Coral that we've been to before for appetizers and drinks,
Just
but we've
small
never
plates.
gone for a full meal, and we've always said we need to go.
Yes.
And I'm glad that we did.
And heard nothing but great things.
And it paid off.
Oh, yes. So 0.57, 0.57. It's got the word point and 57 after it. That's
the word point is spelled out, and then
Yes.
57 or
it's
57.
not like a dot.
So
So
I'm going to say 0.57.
0.57.
This is, I guess you'd call it a New American, really kind of chef-driven restaurant here in Cape Coral. It's privately owned. It's not a chain.
No.
The place is just gorgeous when you
It's
walk
beautiful.
in. Lots of natural wood.
I like the lights.
The Edison lights
Those
that
are
great. Give you just that warmer lighting effect. They have a full lunch and dinner menu, and on Sundays they do brunch.
Yes, and I wish they did it all weekend long. I really
Wish they did it all week long,
because the menu looks amazing. One of our friends had blueberry pancakes.
Some of the fluffiest
Huge.
pancakes I've ever seen.
They were huge. They're like the size of your head, and you got 3 of them.
It's like eating a fluffy manhole cover.
Yeah.
Filled with blueberries.
I don't even know. That looked so amazing, but I was really craving.
I was going to say, they also had a French toast on the menu.
Oh, they
that
did.
had a Maker's Mark syrup.
Oh, I want to try that so badly.
So just putting
badly.
that out there. So next time.
God, and they had a hash, like a pork hash, something like that. I'm telling you, we got to go back.
I think
And
we can
if
arrange
you're
that.
local, you could indulge and explore that place with us.
Right after the bridge run on the 4th of July.
Perhaps.
Well, couldn't do brunch that day.
It's not brunch, though. Yeah. But you could have what I had.
And what did you have?
I had the cast iron ribeye with blue cheese fondue and potato, spinach, bacon, and candied onion hash.
The hash alone sounds amazing.
And let me tell you, it's like crispy potatoes. It's like the home-style potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And they were crunchy on the outside, tender on the inside. The candied onion added like a sweetness, the spinach, that green. It was like, and the saltiness from the bacon, just a perfect bite. Just a perfect bite.
Well, I'm going to tell you, looking at yours,
And the cheese fondue, oh my God.
it was cute.
Yeah.
The presentation was adorable.
Because when I saw cast iron ribeye, I thought the whole kit and caboodle was coming in a cast iron skillet.
So did I.
But I now realize that would be a disservice to the servers. Because that
They
would
get
be
their
like,
workout in.
oh my gosh, you'd like have to lift weights to be able to bring it to the table because it's a 12-ounce ribeye. And the cheese fondue comes in its own little skillet, and oh my gosh, it has chunks of blue cheese, but it is a silky, velvety sauce. That fondue.
So you could, if you want, you could pour it over your steak. You could pour it over your hash, or you could keep it on the side to dip.
You could create the perfect bite.
Right.
Oh my God! And they'll cook that ribeye however you want. And I'm telling you, it wasn't too fatty. It was the perfect balance of the meatiness and the fattiness that you like crave in a ribeye if you're a ribeye type.
I was going to say, you're a ribeye fan.
I am.
How did this stack up?
I love it. And we're going somewhere where I'm going to have to A/B compare.
This is true.
In the future here.
We're not going to give it away, though.
Yeah, so
in an upcoming episode, we're going to be going someplace for steak specifically.
Mm-hmm. And I'll have to get back to you with the comparison, but I will say this was quite delicious. It was spiced perfectly. Not a spicy, but I mean, it was seasoned. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's the word. Seasoned, sorry. Perfectly.
Well, I looked at your plate.
Flavor.
I mean, I read it. And then when yours came out, I went, they're cheating. Because
how are they cheating?
They're cheating because, number one, ribeye is instantly
the perfect cut of meat.
It is a fantastic cut of beef.
Wow.
Then blue cheese. Then making fondue out of blue cheese.
Tangy, salty, buttery, goodness.
And then hash. So it's cheat. They're just stacking. Yours was just a giant flavor bomb.
Meat and potato
heaven.
And cheese heaven.
So when I ordered mine, it was I almost got what you got.
No slouch.
But then the server said the one that I ordered was her favorite.
And I believe her name was Tina.
I believe so. And she was fantastic. She
was
knew the menu inside and out.
Yes.
So shout out to Tina.
I believe she'd been there for a couple of years, she said.
Yeah, she said almost since the beginning.
Since the beginning. And she was just awesome.
Well, I ordered the Crispy Pork Shank served on a bed of blue cheese grits topped with a apple chutney.
Oh, my God.
Okay. This pork shank was the size of a softball.
They have a picture of it on the website.
It was enormous.
We'll put a picture out there, too.
The meat on the outside had a perfect caramelization, like it had been seared on all sides. So you had this golden crust on the outside. The meat sheathed right off the bone and was super tender, just melt in your mouth. If you've had pork shank, you know what I'm talking about.
Yummy.
The blue cheese grits, first of all, their grits that they used were these much more coarsely ground,
like stone ground, or
but not very finely milled. It was almost a porridge consistency, but they were corn grits that were just killer, and then they had blue cheese whipped into the grits, and they were just amazing, creamy, with a little bit of tooth from the size of the pieces of the grits. And then you got this sweet, but not too sweet bit from the apple chutney on top. So you could get just a little bit of the apple, piece of the pork, and then into that, the funkiness from the blue cheese and the grits, but it had the creaminess. I think mine was just as perfect a bite as the ribeye, but that pork shank was so good. I would absolutely get it again. I might even forego exploring something else on the menu to get that again the next time we go. It was that good.
Like if we went for brunch, you wouldn't try anything on the brunch menu?
I am very tempted by some of the sweet stuff. Like I said, the French toast looked incredible, but the pork shank was just that good. She wasn't kidding when she said how good that was.
So if we went for brunch and I were to order something sweet and you were to get the pork, would you be willing to share is the question.
Maybe a bite.
What? I will share with you.
Okay. I said I'd share with you.
Okay.
I was very reserved in the amount.
All right. Well, we have more to share with you from Point 57 because they have beverages.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yes.
Well, before we go on, I'm going to take a minute to tell you all about our friends at Pure Creative Apparel. Anybody can silkscreen a shirt. Look, we know it's true. I did it as a project in high school. But the team at Pure Creative Apparel is really much more than that. They will take you through the entire process to create your custom items, right from the very beginning with the design of your artwork or company logo, then create mock-ups to show you what the finished product will look like and help you select just the right high-quality name brand clothing or other merchandise on which you're going to place your artwork or your logo. And then they'll get you your items fast. Or if you're not looking to get into the whole online sales thing and you don't want to worry about inventory, packaging, shipping, and all of that, Pure Creative Apparel has a complete e-commerce package available. So whether you're a school, church, or club needing just a few shirts for a special event, or a company looking for a complete branding package, Pure Creative Apparel can help. Find out how by going to purecreativeapparel.com. And we really thank them for their support of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. So on to the drinks now.
Oh, yeah.
Let me
indulge.
Let me go first because
Why?
really mine doesn't compare to yours, and
Fine.
we'll end on yours because
All right.
yours was just
Whatever.
super unique.
Go.
I was going for something just refreshing, light, easy, and I noticed that they had a number of local beers available, local being here in Florida. And they had one from Islamorada Beer Company, which is their Sandbar Sunday. And this is their American Pale Wheat Ale. Best way I could describe this would be if you like, say, a Sam Adams Summer.
Nice. Yeah.
Be very comparable to that, I think.
Sure.
You could also go Shock Top or
Blue Moon.
but I don't think it was just any of the coriander type flavors.
Is this the one you had at DJ's Clam
This
Shack?
is the one I had at DJ's Clam Shack.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. That was good.
It's a fantastic beer. It's 4.75% ABV. It's distributed by Islamorada. I know all over Florida. So, seeing it here, I said, you know what, that's going to go great. And I knew it was something that I was going to like, and and it was going to go fantastically with that pork shank. And I wasn't wrong because, again, hot outside, nice refreshing beer, couldn't go wrong. But
because it was a heavier entree.
It was. I mean, I really and truly, that pork shank, like I said, it's the size of a softball, and then you had the cheese grits and apple chutney. I mean, it was very filling. So something light was perfect for that. But I do want to mention that on their brunch menu, they are offering a couple of beverages that are unique to their brunch menu. They do unlimited or bottomless mimosas for $15.
Yeah.
There. So if you're going to get two, it pays for itself.
Because they're $8 each normally.
And then they are also doing a Bloody Mary spiced with Old Bay.
Yes, and they used like a pepper vodka, do they?
That is with absolute pepper vodka.
Okay.
And that is not a
Old Bay.
Yeah, not a bottomless.
No.
But looked fantastic.
In a mason jar.
Yeah, we saw some being served. So it looked really, really good. So just other options that were available, but I kept it simple.
And it's tomato juice. It's not clamato.
Correct. Yeah, clamato juice for you.
Upon our research
with
Tina.
Yeah.
So.
But you went way off the reservation.
What do you mean way off the reservation?
Well, you didn't go with a traditional brunchy time drink.
I did not. I looked at their original cocktail list and found something that is called Dead on Bourbon. Dead on Bourbon. Typically you would see an old-fashioned, and they did have an old-fashioned. But this seemed very unique because the description read, rich smoke and roasted coffee flavors served in a smoking skull, rye whiskey, Creole spices, and coffee liqueur. So spicy, savory, sweet, and that rye whiskey is it's different from traditional bourbon.
The only way I could describe this drink was smooth.
Yeah, it was super smooth. So it was a glass skull. it came out and it had like a stopper, almost like a
cork.
Like a cork from a champagne bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you uncork this skull, everybody can smell the smoke.
Well, it's layered in there. You've got the layer of liquid.
Hickory chips.
And then you've got the smoke sitting on top
Smells
of it
like
inside
hickory.
that skull. The presentation is smooth.
Yeah.
Like just cool.
The drink is inside the skull, and then you get this empty rocks glass with one huge rock of ice, square block of ice. And so you uncork the skull, and you get a whiff of that smoke and that woodiness. And as you pour it, you can see the smoke coming out. And I know that we took video, and I hope that
You'll share that on
Yeah.
social media this week.
I will. I hope that I do it justice. And I hope that you can see the smoke and the way it is. And of course, there's no smell-o-vision.
The smell-o-vision would pay off on this drink.
Oh, and it was the perfect balance. It wasn't overly sweet. I think the rye whiskey was a nice choice to complement the sweetness in a coffee liqueur.
I think that a lot of people really they'll say, "Oh, I'm a bourbon person," but then
Rye,
you know,
too spicy.
But I find rye typically to be smoother.
I think it's great. And I don't think it was overly harsh because of the coffee liqueur, because when you drink it, you know, a lot of times when people take a taste of rye whiskey, there'll be burning afterwards. But that was not the case here.
No.
It was incredible.
And the sip I had was super smooth and just delicious. I mean, great find.
Looked like black coffee. Looked like just the nice brown color coffee, you know? And I also highly recommend the summertime in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you are in the mood for tequila, spiced pear, cardamom, lemon, honey, and maple flavors.
That was so unique sounding, and then the taste was just that. Whatever you think that's going to taste like, I promise you it doesn't.
That was a nice dessert.
It was just fantastic and just really, really surprising. So
and different.
Their craft cocktail game, very, very strong there.
Yes,
and,
love it.
And that goes along with their food game. So .57 in Cape Coral.
.57.
Get down here to Southwest Florida.
Yes,
Check them out. Great place for brunch. Great place for casual lunch or dinner as well.
Yes.
So
they have more than just meat they have seafood, they have salads, they have small plates. Yeah.
But that wasn't our only stop this weekend.
No, that is so true. There was a launch. There was a release. Whatever you want to call that.
Yeah, I'd say
release.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. We had both.
Yes.
This was, if you've been following along on Facebook and Instagram, we've been doing beer chats every other Friday for the Saturday. Sorry. Every other Saturday with Aimee talking about the category, the Hurricane Series releases at Big Storm Brewing.
And I know that they're hard to catch on a Saturday night because most people are out having fun or spending time with family. So I really have to say, if you caught even a glimpse or you jumped in and commented or just gave us a smiley face, a thumbs up, well, thanks for jumping in on a night that's usually really hectic around the weekend.
And it was a tough one to hear. If you didn't have a good set of headphones or weren't in a quiet place yourself, we were in a place that was just rocking. Our South Cape Entertainment Association was having their trolley event where they basically do these organized bar crawls, and the participating bars offer a food item and a beverage, and you buy your tickets and you get on the trolley and you just go from stop to stop all night long.
And they're themed.
And this is being Independence Day here in the United States coming up. It was kind of a 4th of July theme. So the place was packed and just getting waves of people.
And live band.
And
great.
Live music inside and a
outside.
DJ outside.
Yeah, so
really good time.
It was rocking.
And you got the chance. You talked to the guys at Big Storm, and they actually recommended against you holding off until the 5th release to do the flight.
Well, there are supposed to be 5 because, there are 5 categories in the hurricane levels of a hurricane season, which we don't want to experience ever again.
No.
But we will be more than happy to experience each category in this beer release series, this Belgian release series.
Yes.
They said, hey, listen, if we were a bigger tap room, like our sister locations,
St. Pete,
Clearwater,
Clearwater,
that we might be able to house all 5 categories so that you could do one big flight and compare all of them at the end of the release on their 7th anniversary at the end of July, but probably not here at the Cape Coral location.
So
get it while you can.
Get it while you can.
In a nutshell. So that is what I did.
So you grabbed a flight.
I grabbed a flight of the Cat 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3, but then there was a 4th hole there.
There was a 4th hole, so I had to order, they come in 4s at the Big Storm. And so I got their release from Friday, which was the Bromosa Tangerine Brut IPA.
Bromosa being like a riff or a spoof on the Manmosa, like mimosas typically being champagne and orange juice tends to be viewed as a feminine drink for women. So a lot of restaurants marketed Bromosas for men where it was orange juice and beer.
Or they would throw, like another local place does like vodka in there or something.
Oh, they might.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll report
that would be dangerous
after we do some research.
So not only did you get to try Cat 3, you got to do the ABC comparison.
I did.
Of Cat 3.
I did.
And if you guys want to check that out, the videos are still up on our Facebook page.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's still up on our story on Instagram. I don't think so.
I think Facebook is where it's at.
But Facebook's where it's at. So head over and check that out, and you can actually see the differences in these beers. But
and thanks to everybody for sharing that with others too.
Yeah, got some traction.
Yeah.
So what did you think of Cat 3?
Well, Cat 3, it's a Belgian triple as opposed to the double and the single.
Hence the Cat 3.
1, Category 2, Category 3. I think it was the ABV, in case you didn't catch it live, was 9.5. And they get stronger as the series goes on.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, because we started with much lower ABV.
Yeah,
much lower.
Cat 1 starts at 5.5.
5.5, and then it's
7.8.
And
9.5 is Cat 3. In 2 weeks, we get to enjoy the Cat 4, which clocks in at 11.6.
Yeah, and I don't know when we're going to do that beer chat, but we'll put it out on social media because it may conflict with another event.
We'll get it taken care of.
Yeah. So, well. More on this Cat 3.
Yes.
Right? So it has a higher alcohol content than 2 and 1. If we have already established it has notes of banana and clove, although I don't know that I got so much banana. I got a heavier body in the Category 3, and you could really notice the difference when you tasted the Category 1 and tasted the Category 3 back to back.
Okay, so when you say body, when I say body, I'm talking about the heaviness of the mouth feel.
Yeah.
So I would agree with you.
Because you taste Category 3, and then you go back and you taste Category 1.
Well, it actually feels thicker in your mouth. That's what I'm talking about.
It feels thicker, it's heavier, and then Category 1 feels so much lighter by comparison.
Oh, absolutely. But, okay, so you didn't get so much banana, but did you get the clove from Cat 3?
I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I got it on the nose in either one.
Oh, see, I do.
You did?
On the Cat 1, I think it smacks you in the face.
The banana?
For me,
yeah,
it does. I think that it goes out the window in Cat 2, and it comes back a little bit in Cat 3.
And Cat 3 had a thicker head after they had poured it from the tap.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a darker golden color.
Yes, and that's the other thing. When you looked at those 3 lined up, it's like golden, then it goes way dark, like super dark amber, and then it goes to then it goes much lighter back to a golden but deeper than Cat 1. You wouldn't know that they are in the same series of beers
to look at Cat 2.
Just to look at them.
to look at Cat 2. I wouldn't think that it would be a Belgian.
Oh, no, I've seen some of those from like St. Bernardus that get that dark.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I gotta experiment more with that, I think.
Well, you're just getting turned on to Belgians here recently. And
True enough.
I don't know who you are when we get to talking about the Bromosa thing. So the Belgian, but for Cat 3, did you like it?
I did.
Like, would you have a pint of it?
I would.
Wow.
But I wouldn't drive.
No.
Let's make it clear.
No, got to remember when we start, and if you're not aware, when you start talking about alcohol by volume, the typical American lager, it clocks in at about 4 to 4.7%.
Yeah.
So you're talking about basically almost double the alcohol content in the same volume of beer. So it's basically two American pilsners or lagers for one of these.
Yeah.
So you got to really measure yourself when you're having these types of beers. Fortunately for us, we are big believers in rideshare, so good to go.
And I'll tell you, like on their website, Big Storm says food pairings for Category 3: baked brie, roast turkey, and bananas Foster.
I could totally see all three of those.
Could you? Because I was thinking, like macaroni and cheese. Is that strange?
No.
Is it weird?
No, but you know why I think you're saying that?
Why?
Is that this beer would go great at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh.
Because of the kind of the
You don't think Cat 2 more so?
No, you know what? Cat 2, it tastes so much like prunes or dark stone fruit or dried fruit. I think that if you're going for that Christmassy feel, you might go for something with more of the clove notes to it.
Yeah.
That's
like a
just
mulled
me.
wine. Like a mulled wine.
Kind of like a mulled wine, yeah. And I think that Cat 1 and Cat 3 have more of those. Cat 1 being more so to me.
I think I'm just going to have to do it. When we go to have the Cat 4, if they still have 1 through 3, I got to get them again. I really have to get a deeper comparison.
It's really all about doing the research.
Yeah.
You're just going to have to make the sacrifice for your listeners.
Mm-hmm.
So you're very selfless in that way.
I want to do it and bring it to the people and be better about the comparison.
I think that a lot of people would be curious, and a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's a lot of, it's very high alcohol."
It's in a flight.
Don't necessarily let that scare you, especially if you go to a brewery and they are doing a flight.
These were small.
These are small pours, and you're not committing to an entire pint of it.
No. And flights can be made for sharing.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
And if you're smart about it, you don't overlap 3 or 4 of the same one.
Yeah, see previous podcast episodes.
Oh, couldn't help it.
Hey, number 4 in the flight.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. This is, I'm just going to say it right now.
You're so shocked.
I just don't know you anymore.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Your favorite beer of the night.
The Bromosa.
An IPA.
An IPA. A tangerine brute IPA.
And I must say, this one is a light gold color, but very cloudy.
Yeah, it's cloudy.
Super citrusy.
It's not an orange color, not really a dark orangish color. I mean, you can see it on the episode artwork. We have the flight there. Mm-hmm. And I think...
But no lights passing through it.
It's cloudy, yeah.
Super cloudy. Yeah. Very citrusy.
Very citrusy, both on the nose and then in the flavor. It's not like a sweet citrus. It's like it's like the acidity. It's like the rind.
It's like they zested tangerine in it.
Mm-hmm, and not the bitter pith.
Yeah. And you said pith, P-I-T-H.
Yes.
Okay.
What did you think I said?
If you had a lisp, that would be a totally different word.
Pith. No.
So
please.
The best part of this, though, I think, is the fact that we both tasted it, and we both looked at each other and went, "This is really good."
I would have it, yeah. And hey, the ABV is 7.
I joke. We've been trying to expand our palates and find some IPAs that we like more. But what we also learned is, again, another citrusy IPA as opposed to a piney one.
Mm-hmm.
So
and sometimes people love that piney IPA flavor. but we are more citrus IPA.
Somebody might convert us.
Somebody might convert us. You know, our friend Greg would be so proud.
Yep. Greg Gebhardt of Nice Guys Pizza has been trying to convert us to IPAs for years. So.
Also of Danger fame.
And of Danger fame, yes. So, the Bromosa Tangerine Brewed IPA coming in at, what'd you say, 7 point?
7, straight up 7.
Straight up 7% ABV. So, again, a little more powerful, a little more oomph.
I want to go back and I want to have a pint.
Okay.
Or maybe a growler fill.
Oh, you would commit to a growler fill.
Perhaps.
She's shaking her head yes, so I think that might happen in the future. Okay, well, I mean, that's, I think that's kind of cool, though. Whenever you can go and you can explore and find something new, that's a win.
Yeah.
So,
win-win.
So we've given you guys a couple of great options here in Florida. Point 57 and their craft cocktails is exclusive to Cape Coral.
Yeah.
Big Storm, however, is available in their tap rooms in the state as well as distributed throughout the state. So you may find their beers in bottles and on draft at local food and beverage establishments.
And I'll say this. If you know of a steak that I need to travel and taste to compare to this 0.57 ribeye, you let me know.
Oh, boy.
Shout it out.
Well, we're about to ask you guys to give us reach out to us this week anyway.
Yes.
If you guys will do us a favor, this week what we're going to ask you to do is rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or in iTunes, if you wouldn't mind. That helps us so much with getting discovered. If you go and leave a rating and a review, preferably more stars is better.
If you're enjoying the show.
The algorithm on iTunes serves us up more and lets us get discovered. It really helps us out. So we would really appreciate that, and we'd love to shout you out. As a matter of fact, I think you had somebody who just recently rated us.
Oh, Chris Darling, who actually posted a picture of himself with his squoosh, his Run, Eat, Drink podcast squoosh, because, they're very prevalent right now in the summer for mopping your brow.
It is important.
And keeping the sweat out of your eyes so you can keep on going on the road. So he left a great review. We've had some really great reviews. So if you could, Apple Podcasts and iTunes, that would be incredible.
And if you've got that steak recommendation for Aimee,
oh yes,
give us a call. Tell us where we should be going for the next great steak to talk about on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. And if there's a race, all the better.
Yes, especially if there's a race nearby that we could go and do, because, this is the Run, Eat, Drink podcast.
Yeah, you want to come on the show and talk about that?
She can go run, and while I'm rehabbing, I'll eat and drink.
Yeah,
so,
hey, let us know. Come on the show and talk about it.
Come on the show at 941-677-2733 or
info@runeatdrink.net.
Email us your suggestions. Shoot us preferably a little video snippet. Try to keep it under 60 seconds. Just let us know.
Or like a voice memo or...
Yeah. Video snippet, voice memo, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And or call that number, 941-677-2733. Leave us a voicemail.
Great.
Let us know. So,
we love it.
Next week for us, we are going to be on the road, aren't we?
We are, yes. And speaking of on the road, there should be some packages to our lucky listeners.
Oh, our winners from the giveaway. Your packages went out in the mail as of today's recording.
Contributors to our...
So keep your eyes on that.
Yeah, to our social channels.
Yes, keep your eyes in the mail for that. This is the week of July 4th, so mail delivery may be a little bit delayed in your area.
Let us know when you get it.
Yes, send us some photos with your swag.
Yay.
We'd love to see it. So we're on the road traveling next week. We'll have some new cool stuff for everybody.
Oh, yes, and we cannot wait. I mean, you said we wanted to keep it close to the vest and not really share yet.
Nope, we're not telling you anything.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
So for the Running Drink podcast, I'm Dana, your somewhat broken co-host.
Oh, you're going to get better.
Yes, I will.
You're going to get better, and it's Aimee. Worse for the summer running weather wear, your host. Listen, Have a great week. Happy 4th of July. Enjoy your races. Enjoy your runs. Stay cool out there, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Run, Eat, Drink podcast. We're having a great third year because of your support. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Run, Eat, Drink Podcast. And on Twitter, we're at Run, Eat, Drink Pod. You can also give us a call at 941-677-2733 or shoot us an email at info@runeatdrink.net. Visit our website at runeatdrink.net and click on the subscribe link so you don't miss a minute. Accomplish, explore, and indulge right along with us. We'll talk to you next time.